Oh yeah, let's do this. What's up, guys? As you saw, got a package out for delivery. Real exciting day here. Wanted an exhaust on the Tracer 9 since I bought it, and I just couldn't bring myself to pull the trigger with the $1,200 price tag on really the only exhaust available here in the US. There's a couple you can get from overseas, but realistically, if you're in the US, you really only have one choice, and that's the Akrapovic, or Akrapovic, however you say it. And I found a good deal on one used on eBay, so I pulled the trigger. It's out for delivery, as you saw. Tony's on his way over to give me a hand. I don't want to wait. I want to get this thing on. It might be a bad idea, but I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the stock exhaust off now while we wait for the FedEx driver. And I'm going to get the ball rolling. I've never done one on a bike like this before. Obviously, I've done them on the Grom and the Bagger, but this bike, there's a lot more involved. You got to take these side panels off here, move the radiator forward just to get up and access to the flange bolts. So a little bit more involved, so I'm going to get rolling, and when Tony gets here, it'll be a second set of hands to help. But without further ado, let's throw it in a time lapse and get this stock exhaust off. All right, guys. So, just got the front, I don't know, fairings, I guess you'd call them, or side skirts, or whatever you want to call them. Bike looks kind of ugly like that, but it's not going to be ridden like that, so we don't have to worry. But what that does is it allows you to get to the radiator, which allowed me to remove the bolts and then tilt it forward so that I can get to the exhaust flange bolts behind there. SW Motec crash bars can stay on, if anyone was wondering. They did have my light brackets on there, which I had to remove because, well, you didn't have to, but it was contacting the paint, so I pulled them off just so that I didn't scratch it. But yep, that's the first step. So now I gotta get in there and move that radiator. So we'll do that now. Okay, so after the last update, I turned off the time lapse because I had to figure some stuff out. But basically, you can see how tight that radiator is to the exhaust. And there's actually a bracket that goes in the bottom of the radiator, and then it goes up and bolts onto the top of the head. That is tight. You can actually see, right, if it'll focus, there is where the bolt threads in. I don't know if I can, there it is. That's actually centered in the radiator. So you can see how wide this radiator is. So it's like up in the center, up there. And you have to get your hands in there. You can only use a wrench. And I got it out. And the whole time I was taking the bolt out, I was thinking to myself, how the hell am I getting this back in? Because it's very tight to the fan. And my hands are large, so I could only get one in there. And I didn't even have enough room to move my fingers around. So that's out of the way. It gives a little play to the radiator. And I think now with that bracket out of the way, I can actually get to all the flange bolts. So that's the next step. I'm not gonna put it on time lapse because you really can't get the camera up there. But basically the next step is I'm gonna take out all 6 flange nuts, and that'll release the head pipe from the head. And then I believe it's only one in the back here, right under there, that center stand bolt. And then it should drop the whole can. I did already unplug the O2 sensor. from the other side. That's why you had to take that side's side cover off. So yeah, I'm going to reach up there and take all the flange bolts out now. Sorry, I won't film it because I don't know where to put the camera that you'll be able to see that. But I'll hop back on as soon as I'm done. Okay, so I actually got those flange bolts out of there. Surprisingly, it was actually easy. I don't know how to work this gimbal. Okay, so I got those out. Now, I believe... Okay. My watch is talking to me. It's just these two 12s, and this exhaust should drop. I may actually need a wrench for that. Let me grab one. So yeah, once you get the flange bolts out, there's actually only two. I found this on the web. There's actually only two 12 mils that hold the rest of the can on. Oh, it's already fallen over. That was just the exhaust gasket that fell out when the front pipe shifted. I think that is it. Oh, we lost another one, came right to me. There's two of them. So now, I don't know if I can do this with the center stand down. Oh, coming down. Yep, well, I may have put myself in a pickle here. I'm gonna have to wait for Tony to show up because the center stand needs to go up to get this muffler off. But I already unbolted it and it dropped, so now it's on the center stand. And I don't think I can flip the center stand up right now. Okay, well, we're gonna pause here until Tony shows up and then go from there. Super. Well, that was easier than I thought it would be. It was harder and easier at the same time. Harder with all the stuff you have to do with the radiator, but the rest of the muffler was only, two bolts hold the whole thing on. So, yeah, let's hope the FedEx guy shows up soon. And the one thing that's concerning is I bought it used, and I didn't know that they actually make an extension, because your O2 sensor on the factory pipe is up front, right by where the factory plug is for it. And on the new Akrapovic or however you say it again, it actually is back here by the kickstand, and there's no way this factory O2 sensor is gonna reach back up here to the top of the radiator. And in the instructions, it says it includes an extension for your O2 sensor. I didn't see that in the listing, and the guy said he never saw a wire, but he paid a dealer to install it, so I'm not sure how this is gonna work. I might have to actually order an extension wire from them for the O2 sensor to make this work. If not, me and Tony will come up with something, but we'll see. My only concern right now, but let's hope the FedEx guy shows up soon and we get this pipe. All right, boys and girls, so last time I checked in, the exhaust was stuck under there. But Tony showed up. Hi. Oh, the lighting's bad. We were able to lift the center stand. He held up the bike, pulled the stock exhaust out. There she is, kind of a weird looking exhaust. But since then, the FedEx man showed up. So I'm going to, this is not how it comes packaged, so I'm not going to unbox it for you guys. This is, again, secondhand, so I know he said he wrapped a lot of stuff in paper, so I'm going to unbox it all, lay it on the floor, and then I'll hop back on. All right, so got everything laid out. Got the head pipe, the mid pipe, the can, all the hardware that goes with it. Next step is to start assembling it on the motor. Vroom! Don't flood it. Oh. All right, guys. Well, as you saw in the time lapse, I got it all installed. It's not tight. Did it all loose. Now I got to go back through every fastener, cinch them all down, and then we're good to go. Everything fits. All the hardware was there except for the one thing that I think, and I'm not going to really knock the seller because he had a dealer install it, but what I think happened, the cable is missing. So, like I said earlier, it's supposed to come with an O2 extension wire, because before it came out right in front of the motor and plugged in right here, and it was very short, and now the O2 bung is down here. So he paid a dealer to do it, so what I'm guessing happened is they installed it, put the wire there, and then when they uninstalled it so he could sell the pipe because it was too loud, I'm guessing the technician that did the uninstall work didn't even know that that wire was there, thought it was the factory O2 wire, and just reconnected it with the extra slack. So I got to figure out either order it and get a longer one coming, or do I just make my own and extend this wire? So have to decide what I want to do. I really want to hear this thing running. I'm impatient, I know. But I'm probably going to end up doing that. But I'm going to go back. No need to rewatch me tighten the same bolts that I just did. So I'm going to go back through, tighten everything down, get it all cinched up. But essentially, she's on, and we'll be good to go. All right, so while I've been away, only a second for you guys, but about a half hour for me. Got everything tightened down, all clamped up. We're going to do the first fire up. Wrong key for this bike.